Ugochi Agoreyo is a seasoned strategy expert and management executive with over 20 years of experience in tech partnerships. She has worked with Google and Microsoft, leads Google's search partnerships in sub-Saharan Africa, and passionately advocates for women in tech and inclusive technology for people with disabilities.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody is happy to be here, excited. I would really like that the workshop is, a bit more inclusive. We are a bit more interactive. But first of all, a little bit of housekeeping on my side. The introduction has already been done, but I think that I would usually like to start with explaining, because I know there's a number of people here with various disabilities. So I would usually like to explain how I look so that people that can't see me have in their heads a vision of who is speaking to them. So again, my name is Ugochi. I work with Google. I am 5'8", 5 feet 8 inches height. I'm wearing a blue Agoreyo dress and white sneakers. Happy to meet everyone. So we do have slides, but I will be explaining. I will be talking through the slides so that if you can't see the slides, you understand what I'm talking about as well. I'll wait for the slides to come up. But before the slides come up, we're talking about, the topic today is how AI and smart technologies are transforming independence for Nigerians with disabilities. So I'd like to start, first of all, with maybe asking a question. I said that I'll try and make it a bit more interactive. So maybe asking a question. How many people here know about artificial intelligence, which is AI? Okay, not as many as I would hope, but I think a good number. So we're going to talk a lot about artificial intelligence today, but I want to challenge you to say that you do know about artificial intelligence. You just don't realize that you do. Who believes that? So the reason I say this is because artificial intelligence today is seen as something new, something novel, something that just, appeared, and all of us are confused about it. We don't know enough about it. We don't know whether it's going to help us. We don't know whether today it will take away what we see as the way that we have known the world to work. But I want to assure you that it's not going to do that, and you have lived with artificial intelligence for a really long time. And I'll give you some examples. Who knows music providers that recommend music to you? People like Spotify, Audiomack, Boomplay, Apple Music. Those are music providers that we use every day. If you listen to music, how many people listen to music on their phones? Almost everybody. If you listen to music today and are recommended songs to listen to, that's artificial intelligence behind that technology. If you have a smartphone that tells you how many steps you've taken, health data that we've used for years. The technology behind that is artificial intelligence. So I'm here to tell you that you know about artificial intelligence, even if you thought you did not, and you've been using it for a very long time. So it's not scary. It's not something that, is novel. It's something that has been around for a really long time, but today we're beginning to take more advantage of the possibilities that come with artificial intelligence. So that's really the introduction for today, and then I'll just kick off the presentation. So For millions of Nigerians living with disabilities, artificial intelligence and smart technologies are rapidly becoming essential tools to overcome daily challenges and live more independently. It's empowering lives. These innovations support a wide range of disabilities. We've talked today about a number of disabilities that we see amongst us. Some of them are visual, hearing, physical, and cognitive. When we say cognitive, we're talking about learning type disabilities, neurodivergent individuals, things like ADHD, autism. Those are the cognitive disabilities that we're talking about. AI provides personalized assistance, enhancing communication, improving mobility, and promoting inclusion in education, work, and our social activities. Next slide. Do I see the next slide? Yeah, but it's too small. I have to look at this one. Sorry, I'm just going to move this a little so I can see this one. So what really is the role of AI and smart technologies for people with disabilities? One of the key things that it does is that it removes barriers that we see with AI, right? And gives us the opportunity for us to engage more effectively within the community, within our schools, within our workplaces. AI uses machine learning. I don't know who knows about machine learning. But this is very technical. I'm going to skip the technical part because this is very technical. But the idea of artificial intelligence is that it uses machine learning, natural language processing, and computer vision to adapt to our unique individual needs. These technologies help Nigerians with disabilities to navigate the environment, communicate effectively, manage health. I've talked about smart devices that you wear, like watches, your smart watches, helps you to manage your health and helps you to perform your daily tasks with more autonomy. So you might not need as many people supporting as you did before if you embrace these smart technologies. And we'll talk a little bit about those. Examples are voice-activated assistants. So you do know about some voice-activated assistants. I'm going to ask a question now. Who can give me one example of a voice-activated assistant? Okay, I think one person. Yes, yes. So there's Google Access. There are other hands. You can speak. Sorry, she's coming with the microphone. Sorry. Okay, desktop access. I think there was somebody else. Okay. Okay, so you have an idea of what voice-activated assistants are. Things like Siri, Alexa are really popular, Google Assistant. Those will help you navigate if you are not able to see or if you have low vision. Those are really good for navigating. We also have interpreters, sign language interpreters that are AI powered now or can convert speech to text in real time. These tools remove the barriers that have traditionally limited independence and social participation. Now with those tools, you can actively engage. The person who introduced before talked about the workshop that we had and how that was physically implemented by someone within this church. And those are the things that we want to kind of draw out from this workshop today. That if you embrace these technologies, it helps you to become a bit more independent and helps you interact a bit more socially. So next slide. So in each group of impairments, right, there are ways that you can transform lives. But I'll talk about the 5 key ways that AI is transforming lives today. We've talked about independence. It's enhancing your independence. We've talked about smartphones, wearable devices that help you to be a bit more independent. It helps you to bridge your communication, right? So you have examples as speech-to-text devices, text-to-speech devices, and I know that a number of you already use those. Yes, so those are examples there, and then you have sign language translators as well that are powered by smart technology, AI. Those will help you to communicate, bridge communication gaps that you traditionally would have seen before. It also has personalized support, right? So you have things like chatbots that are very predominant today. One of the key things that we are able to do with AI is create chatbots really quickly, where you would have had to hire people to do that before, spend months trying to build a chatbot. Literally now, you can get an AI assistant that creates a chatbot in minutes. And that will help you bridge communication a bit more. It helps you monitor your health. We already talked about smart health devices, your smart wristwatches and things like that. And then it also helps you with social inclusion. So sometimes it's difficult for you to integrate if you are not able to bridge these communication gaps with people who do not have disabilities. But now, with these technologies, it's easier for you to be socially inclusive, to join the conversations, to engage with more people than you traditionally do. So these are the 5 ways that AI is helping us transform our lives today. Next slide, please. So there's some breakthrough technologies that we see today that are emerging. What we do realize is that sometimes it comes later to Nigeria, but it will come. But there are breakthrough technologies there that we see coming up from these smart technologies. The first one I put here is AI-powered prosthetics. They use neural signal adaptation for precise movement control, right? The second one is voice-activated smart homes. So where we've talked about voice-activated assistants, we're beginning to see a lot of smart homes that are voice-activated. So you open the door and say, turn on the lights, and it turns on the lights. You go into your home and say, put on the air conditioner, or put on the heating if you're living outside of Nigeria, and it does that. So we're beginning to see things like that. We have sign language avatar systems that are becoming really popular. And we'll play an example once I've finished this slide of a sign language avatar. So they do real-time translations, enhancing deaf community communication. We have virtual cognitive assistants that support memory and executive function. This is for people who are neurodiverse, have learning disabilities. These sorts of virtual cognitive assistants help them greatly to engage more with the things that are taught. And then we have intelligent navigation apps. These are more for your environment and moving around. So the apps that talk to you about where to go, how to move, what's in front of you, the number of people in a room. We have a lot of apps like that. I'm also going to play a short video about one of those types of AI solutions from Google called Gemini Live. But for now, let's play the avatar, the sign language avatar video.
passengers of Delta Flight DL 1056 to New York City. Your gate has been changed. 5 for boarding. Thank you.
Thank you. So you can see that from Sign Avatar, this is fully created by AI. So where you would have traditionally needed someone to come to the gate to sign to someone who is hearing impaired, here they have avatars that are created fully by AI that they can deploy everywhere. And this just, eases that communication. You don't need someone following you around. You don't need to ask for translation. And that's what the technology is doing today. And that's what we are hoping will continue to improve, will continue to be more prevalent, and will make your lives easier. So, next slide. Let's go to the next slide. So we have some solutions we've talked about already for the visually impaired, but I'll go through a few of them again. So you have screen readers and text-to-speech solutions. So you have tools like TalkBack on Android. I don't know how many people have Android phones, but Android phones have many assistive features built into the phone already. So you have things like TalkBack. TalkBack will read the things on your phone to you. And then you have, so TalkBack would read things like websites, emails, documents aloud that will enhance digital access. You have smart navigation aids. We've talked a bit about that. So there's something called Google's Project Guideline, which provides audio feedback about your surroundings, and that eases your daily travel and shopping and even running. Like if you're running, it helps you to see the area around you and then make sure that you're running in the right direction and you are not meeting any obstacles. And then you have AI object recognition apps like Gemini Live, which I talked about before. One thing that we can do before we leave here is actually just download Gemini. If you download Gemini, you have Gemini Live immediately. And Gemini Live will help you to navigate your environment. So you have apps like that. They identify objects, they read signs for you, and they describe the surroundings through your phone camera. And we could do, but I don't know if we have time, but we could do a demonstration. It's really easy. Once you have Gemini Live on your phone and just say, Gemini, can you tell me what you see in front of you? And it will describe exactly what it sees. And if there are obstacles before you, if there are signs you need to be aware of, it will read the signs. So that's really easy to do. Next slide, please. So I'm going to deep dive into Gemini Live. So Gemini Live is an interactive, real-time conversational experience. So you're talking to the app, and the app is doing what you ask it to do. It enables users to engage in voice or video sessions. So you could talk, and you could talk, and it talks back to you, or you could go to video where you want it to actually see the environment for you and describe it to you. Allowing for continuous context-sensitive interactions. The assistant listens, observes, and interprets both visual and spoken cues, making it highly responsive to dynamic environments and user needs. The key features of Gemini Live are it has instant voice or video-based conversations with the AI, and it understands and responds to your ongoing changes in the environment. So if somebody else comes into the room, if there's something happening, something has fallen down, it responds immediately to say, I see now this person doing this. So I'll play another video so you just have an example of what Gemini Live can do.
Hi, Gemini.
Can you remember everything that's on this page? Because I'm going to quiz you afterwards.
Okay, I'm ready. Fire away with your questions.
Sweet. What was the title of the diagram?
The title of the diagram is The Sky of Hidden Colors.
Nice. In what context was the stars of the Milky Way mentioned here?
The stars of the Milky Way were mentioned in the context of visible light. The text explains that our eyes can only see a narrow range of light, and the Milky Way is visible within that range. The diagram is showing that there's a whole sky of hidden colors that becomes visible when we use equipment sensitive to wavelengths beyond what our eyes can detect.
Sweet. Can you give me a fun mnemonic to help me remember all the kinds of light that's mentioned?
Sure. Try this. Really mad insects visited Uncle Xavier's garden. It covers radio, microwave, infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-ray, and gamma ray.
Sweet, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, so what we saw on the video was someone asking Gemini Live to memorize some written document. And this document could be your schoolwork, it could be a magazine someone has given to you, it could be anything, a newspaper that someone hands to you, even though they don't know that you can't visually read that newspaper. So all you do is point your camera to whatever has been given to you and say, Gemini Live, can you remember what is here and tell me? And then I will quiz you. So this person was saying, you had better remember because I'm going to quiz you on what you are reading, and then gives Gemini Live a few seconds to read, and then he asks him about everything that he saw on the page. And Gemini Live basically explained everything, and then he said, can you help me, give me, like, you know when you're studying and you try to remember things, you know we always use different tactics to remember things. I remember when I was in school, I would use one letter for each sentence. So I would, make, and that's what is done. So he gave him a really simple, catchy sentence that helps him remember everything that was on that slide. So that's the beauty of things like Gemini Live. And like I said, that's something you can use from the minute you walk out of this room. If you download Gemini Live now, you basically can say to it, what do you see in front of me? How many steps do I need to take to get out of here? When do I turn left? And it will explain all of that to you. Another really easy thing, and this is just a bonus, that I do with Gemini Live is, if I was going, like today, coming out today, and I wasn't sure what to wear, I would go to my wardrobe and then scan the wardrobe with Gemini Live, and I'll say, I'm going for a workshop where I'm going to speak about this and this and this. What do you think I should wear? And then Gemini Live will say, that blue dress would look really nice if you pair it with these shoes that are this, that, and that. And then it would say, do you have accessories you want me to look at so I can match it? And I do this a lot, and he's always right. You always look nice. So you can do that as well. If you wanted to get dressed and you weren't sure what to wear and you can't see the options, Gemini Live will tell you what's there, what they think suits the occasion you're going for, and if you have any accessories, they can match with what you're wearing. So it's a really cool tool. I think everyone should get, using it. Now let's move on to hearing and physical disability solutions. So we have things like AI-powered hearing aids as well. These are amplifying. These are amplifying sound and noises better than we were hearing them before, and they're translating languages and detecting falls so that caregivers can be alert. So these are things that we weren't able to do before, but we're able to do now with these smart technologies. We also have sign language translations, where you have avatars, we've seen that, and speech-to-text apps, like the ones that we've talked about for Android, as well as some other providers like Roger Voice. These enable real-life communication independence. We have AI-enabled prosthetics. So there are some programs like Nigeria's Walk Again project that use 3D printing and brain-machine interfaces for affordable, customizable mobility solutions. We're hoping that as the years go by, these solutions become more widely available, more providers, more Nigerian technology companies, and we heard a bit from the speaker before about how expensive these technologies are to import into Nigeria. So the idea is that we're able to, both public and private institutions, work together to make sure that Nigerians are producing some of these solutions. We have lots of Nigerians trying to build AI solutions today. Our conversations are that these people build inclusive technology so that it helps people with disabilities. We are also actively engaging the government. At this point, the government is trying to develop a national EdTech strategy. And one of the key things that we're talking to the government about is that there is an equity and inclusion portion of that EdTech strategy. And it's something that I'm closely working with the government on. Hopefully, these things will improve the way that people with disabilities are able to engage in different sectors, because some of the recommendations are things like implementation of the policies, making sure that these policies are seen across the federation and not just concentrated on certain states, and ensuring that we build the capacity to build these solutions here so that everyone has an advantage and everyone is able to access the technology. So I think the next slide. So we have some hearing solution examples. The one that I'm going to be talking about is captions and transcriptions powered by AI. So automatic captioning on YouTube. You know that YouTube, who knows that YouTube is a Google solution? YouTube is a Google company. So Google owns YouTube. Sorry, the slide is gone. So we have automatic captioning on YouTube, which is powered by ASR technology. ASR is automatic speech recognition. So this is AI as well. We have live caption on Android phones and Chrome extensions. Android and Chrome are obviously Google solutions as well. They use automatic speech recognition technology to provide real-time captions for any audio or video content. Thank you. Any audio or video content. We have Google Meets. Google Meets is our meeting tool that you can use with your office sort of applications. This continues to offer real-time captions for meetings in a wide variety of languages, as well as offering real-time translated captions. So during your meetings, it can translate speech as it is happening in the meeting, so that you can read that and follow the meeting. And then we also have expressive captions. This is a feature that uses AI to add more emotion and context to captions. For example, things like applauses. So if you're clapping, applause if you're clapping. Size and duration. So like time, so that you can understand that time has elapsed. So we have that. I'm going to play a video that shows an example of that. So what you're seeing is the caption. What you're seeing is that what we're seeing on the screen is a match is happening, and the captioning is happening for the narration of the match. So you know how when they're playing football matches, people are talking and saying a goal, this and that. So there's captioning that is happening. So I know some people can see the video, but that's what's playing now on the screen. Okay. So I think we can go to the next slide. So you can follow. So this means that if you are hearing impaired, you can follow the match as it's happening. You can follow commentary because you will see the captions as the commentary is happening. So there's also cognitive support and mental health. So for cognitive support and mental health, some of the smart technologies that we see today are personalized virtual assistants. These are various AI apps and tools that provide learning support, medication reminders, appointment scheduling, and daily routine management for executive function support. So many people that have cognitive disabilities struggle a lot with executive functioning. Which means that they are usually behind time, they can't follow schedules, they seem not to be able to function within just the timelines that we do, but they have all of these apps that can help them, give them quick reminders about things they need to do, structure their work schedules, their school schedules, things that they need for learning, and can help them become a lot more efficient in their work environments and school environments. I'll give a quick example of this. We have a tool called Notebook LM. Notebook LM is another really good tool that I think everyone should get. There's the free version, and there's obviously the paid version. Even if you use the free version, the reason I talk about Notebook LM is I have a child who has a learning disability. And usually, for me to be able to help him with work and make sure he's successful, I need to read with him, which is really time-consuming, and he's not young. So even with high school, he's just gotten into university. But even with high school, it would mean that for the more complex work, I would need to sit down with him and read each chapter and explain it. And then he has a better understanding than what is taught in class. What Notebook LM does today, and we've started using Notebook LM, I think, beginning of last year. What Notebook LM does today is you can take all of his notes. It doesn't matter if it's 300 pages, and upload it into Notebook LM. And Notebook LM, in 2 minutes, will give you a concise summary, key points of all of his notes. It will give you quizzes that he could do on his own, small quizzes. It would give you a podcast for people that have cognitive disabilities that is easier for them to learn by listening, like my son. So you get a podcast which mimics me and him going over his notes, because it's two people talking about the notes and saying, do you realize that you could do this? I'll give you an example of this. So it will give you a podcast that he can listen to over and over again instead of me sitting down with him for hours at a stretch. It will give you a mind map so that if he is not clear about a certain point, he just clicks on a point in the mind map and he gives him all of the summaries of that point. And this is a game changer for anyone that has ever struggled with understanding work, school. I mean, you are really learning at your pace and in the very best way that you are able to. If it's visual, if it's reading, and now Notebook LM has introduced video, so it can actually convert this learning to videos if you are a more visual learner, so that videos are easier for you to learn. It now can convert to videos. This is a new feature which launched in the last 2 months. So, I mean, I'm really excited about the possibilities that AI and smart technology has brought to really difficult areas like education, health, agriculture. Now, with things like agriculture, you can't forecast the weather. You can't forecast, your harvest. And you can do that in Nigeria today because we've just launched forecasting tools, AI forecasting tools for Google. So you can do that, and it's launched in Nigeria. So you can do that today. So it's really, really exciting to think about the things that we are able to do today and the things that are coming in the future. So Notebook LM, I've talked about that. I've explained it. So I'm going to play a video about Notebook LM, which I think is, and I'm not saying it because I work at Google. I mean, last year, Time magazine said Notebook LM was one of the 10 best inventions that they had seen in 2024. It's amazing. So we can play the video and just listen.
If you're a student, a worker, someone doing your master's, or anyone at all that has to read some documents, but reading is not really your thing, this video is for you. I found an AI website that's going to turn any document into a podcast for you to listen easily. All you have to do is to go to this website, notebooklm.google, go to Try Notebook LM, New Notebook, upload your document. Once it's done uploading, click Generate. And the AI is going to analyze the document that you uploaded, and it's going to turn it into a conversation between two AIs where they discuss the document that you uploaded. And this is how it sounds.
Buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into a topic that's sure to get you thinking. We're tackling a question that might seem like a no-brainer now, but stick with us.
You can find this when you go to this website on your screen, or just comment notes in the comment section down below, and I'll send you the link direct. Don't keep this video to yourself. Make sure you save it and you share it with anyone at all that you think might find this useful. And as usual, stay liquid. And I'll see you in my next upload. Peace. I'm out.
So I was very intentional with finding a video that wasn't a Google one, so you know that this is not just me. This is not just me talking. But you heard an example of the podcast. And you heard the way the podcast started. So it will catch your attention. It will make sure you're listening. So it's not just reading out things. It's actually acting like it's discussing with you and saying, I'm going to take you on a ride. So whoever this child is that traditionally doesn't like to read is more excited about listening to this podcast and can listen to it because it's exciting a number of times. And that eases a lot of work for caregivers for that particular child and teachers as well. So, yeah. So while most of these technologies, like I said, have been developed outside of Nigeria, Nigeria is growing its efforts by government agencies, like I said, NGOs, private individuals, to make sure that these technologies are available to persons with disabilities in Nigeria. It might be slow, but it's coming. And with things like these conversations that we're having today, this workshop, we're encouraging people to, first of all, keep the hope, understand what's available today that you can use, and understand that there are things that are coming that will improve your lives drastically. Right? We do have key challenges. I don't like to dwell on challenges, but I'm going to just talk about them very briefly. But we do have key challenges, which is awareness, and that's one of the things that we're trying to solve today. Make sure that people are aware of what's here, what's coming, and infrastructure. But obviously, infrastructure is something that we can't fix today. But again, we're engaging government, private sector, participants, and hopefully soon, things like network, data, devices, more affordable devices will be solved. Those are the things under the bucket of infrastructure that lots of people are working hard to solve for Nigerians. But yes, so I think that's basically a summary, I guess, of what we have. So I'm hoping that we keep the faith, building this accessible future for all of us, I think is a joint effort by everyone, yourselves, all of us here making this presentation. Kodisa, I thank you very much for this opportunity to create this awareness and